But I go, either I could talk or I could focus. And if I talk instead, then I'm going to mess up what I'm doing. So I kind of go, I'll be rude and try to get this right instead of be nice and then fuck something up that I'm going to have to fix later. Don't know if that makes any sense, but that's the way my brain has always worked.
No, listen, you're talking a couple weeks ago, months ago, whatever it was, when I dropped Becky's thing where the Rob watch was supposed to go and the Rob watch where the Becky's thing was supposed to go, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that was because we were talking after we were doing the show. So believe me, I completely understand on trying to keep things on track and, you know, you're doing more than one thing at once. And yeah.
And I was like looking for stuff up for us. And I'm like, oh, like my Twitter is like every once in a while my Twitter will shut down. So that's what I was looking. I was looking up something and it'll just not stop, but like the pictures won't load and the little avatars won't load and it won't give me new things. And I'm like, okay, well, before the main show starts, I'm going to have to figure out what I was looking for on there. But and as I was doing it, I was like, yeah, I got to do something. And away I went.
Bookmarks are the way. But even that doesn't help.
Well, it's in my mentions, so that's not a problem. But if I can't get to anything, like, because sometimes I feel like it's what's the word? That it's updating on my phone because I have it set to manually update. Like if an update comes through and you're hooked to Wi-Fi, update. And if it does that while it's updating, I can't use Twitter. And I've also found that way, like with Facebook occasionally, like whatever I'm using, it's like, all right, it screws up the app while it's doing that. But I'm not going to go in and check if it's updating because we're talking and then I'll just stop talking.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm just stumbling upon things that are going on as well, you know?
Right now.
Okay. Somebody sent me a link. I can tiptoe around this in that they sent me a link to plug a thing that they were doing this weekend.
Right.
That would technically go in to like convention news.
Right.
Okay. But they didn't send me like a link. They just sent me like a brief description of what it says on their website in regards to what they're doing at said convention.
Okay.
Then I just remembered, I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I got to mention that on the show.
Update.
And I could see why they did not send me a link, because what the site that they have set up for this thing isn't very good. Yeah.
I know how much you like when they do that, you know?
Yeah, it really pisses me off when these things are lazy, you know?
Right.
Okay. And they like gave me like an exact verbiage to say.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, I'm going to say the exact verbiage. I'm going to just say whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm. You have to use the technical jargon they pay for.
I guess. Nobody paid for nothing. I'll just say that much. Okay.
We're always up for paying for stuff, you know?
Nah. Oh, this is... I see this. There's no reason for me to be this flustered by things, but
it's I'll say it's understandable.
Yeah, it's something run by olds.
Oh, okay. Olds. I thought you meant you were just flustered in general this week, but
no. Well, I am. But yes.
Right. So, but trust me, if there's anybody who understands being flustered by technology and whatnot, it's me.
Right.
Unless I'm zoned in on it, like if there's certain things that I can do and it's not a problem, but.
Okay. So how was your weekend? What were you up to this week?
It was a boring weekend. I did absolutely nothing because I kind of remember, we don't talk about it much, but it was a bit warm. So I stayed in the air conditioning, and I had some Cinnabon paperwork to do. So I ended up doing that and basically tried to get my sleeping schedule in order. And it actually worked, I did some work outside because I had some overgrown stuff in my yard that the guy I hired to do the lawn doesn't do. So it was like what pokes through the fence. He's like, I weed whack and I grass cut. What pokes through the fence is like chest high and head high. He's like, and that's your neighbor should be doing that. So I did it, and it was out in the sun, and it wiped me. It wiped me hard. So I came inside and I fell asleep at 10 o'clock, which whatever day it was, I don't know, maybe Friday, wasn't on the weekend yet. And it got me to go to sleep at 10, which got me to get up at a regular hour in the morning because the Cinnabon runs itself, with all my employees. So if I want to go, if I want to wake up at 10, I can, but I usually don't. Where I went to bed at 10, I was up at 6:30. And I was like, oh, okay. And maybe the next day I woke up a little bit later. But now, as of right now, my schedule goes I'm falling asleep before midnight, which I never did before that. So that kind of feels nice. But what will happen is I'll do this podcast or a Patreon podcast, and we'll get done late. After and I'll be wound up because I was talking. I'll go lay down at 12, or I'll watch The Acolyte so it won't be spoiled on me, and I'll go till 1, 2 in the morning, and that will restart my stupid sleeping schedule. You know what I mean? I have it now, and I should stick to it. But I'll screw up, and I'll be up late one night, or something will go on in my head, and I'll be overthinking something. And I can't sleep, and we're back to falling asleep at 3 a.m. So hopefully I can hold to it for now.
Yeah. My sleep schedule this week is completely shot. Mm-hmm. So Friday we were off work. All of us were off work. So we went to Hershey Park. Took my kid and his friend. They're the friend that got us on the season pass thing. Excuse me. So we left here at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, or Friday rather, to get down to Hershey for 10. And we were at the park from 10 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night.
Ooh.
Now, April wasn't feeling great. Her stomach was bothering her. And all of the old people rides that we go on, like the chairlift and the monorail and all those sort of things, were all closed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was just a lot of walking around for us.
Mm-hmm.
And side note, I've been in touch with your friend Stan Malibu lately.
Oh, good.
I don't know if you're up to date on his latest opportunity.
No, there's that word again.
He does a fitness-themed YouTube show / podcast.
Okay.
That's hosted by a puppet.
I like puppets.
I know, a puppet that Jerry controls or works or whatever, as he's been taking legitimate hardcore puppeteering classes for the last almost 2 years.
Right.
And it's Brick Headstrong is the name of the person, right?
Okay.
That's the name of the puppet. And, you know, I listen, I'm a supporter of my friends. They're short episodes. They're usually like, you know, 20 to 30 minutes at the most. So I'll put them on as I'm doing my whatever, listen to the people and, you know, whatever. So I had bragged to him that day at Hershey Park with all the walking that we did. He told me that, you know, it's actually, he wasn't rude about it in any way, shape, or form, but he definitely said I should be in better shape. I shouldn't be the fat slob that I am.
Right.
And he had told me, like, oh, well, you should have this app on your phone. You should enable it so it keeps track of how many steps you're doing. And then I got to brag to him that day at Hershey Park, I did something like 16,000 steps. Right.
Right. And then you got an 8,000. Go ahead, sorry.
What was that?
You're saying then you got an 8,000 calorie Reese's peanut butter cup.
Right. Well, I've been eating it slowly over the last couple days.
Right.
But you know, my age, my weight, my height, they, you know, and my fitness level, they say that I should be starting out at 6,000 steps a day. He said there's no reason I shouldn't be doing 10 to 12 a day. And I said, well, this isn't going to work because I'm going to be in a car all day Saturday, which I was in a car all day Saturday. Right. We left early to get out to Cleveland for Root Beer Wrestling. We went to, and I don't want to give everything away on the show, but I got to meet Double J, Jeff Jarrett, and his lovely wife.
Right.
I got to see a ton of people that I haven't seen. Some people in like 2 years, some people in like over 6 years, other people I've just talked to online. And I had a person come up to me, and again, I forget, and it's one of those things. I always say, like, my name is Joe. I know me, right? Mm-hmm. My face is on everything. My name is on everything. And a lot of times people don't, like, have their picture or have their name or alias or whatever it is online. But I did have a guy come up to me and tell me that these two shows, not After Dark. I'm not After Dark, I assume the two main shows, that it helps him get through his week.
Oh, that's nice.
Right. And it was unprompted. He just came up to me. He said that, shook my hand, the whole thing. And that always feels nice. I said it on At Odds last week, I think. And I don't know if I said it here. You know, but it's the little things that you could do in regards to your fandom of a podcast. I think they say something like, you know, 1% of a podcast listenership will leave a review or a comment wherever you have the show. But and then even less than that will, you know, social media, whatever, interact with the host of the show. And I try my best to, like, for the shows that I listen to increase that number overall. But there's so many podcasts and so many people, whatever. If there's a podcast you enjoy, or like somebody that you enjoy goes on another podcast, you know, like ping that person on social media and just say, hi, I really enjoyed the show. You know, whatever. You would be surprised on how much that helps people.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So anyway, car ride to and back. Now, granted, DJ drove the whole way because he's a maniac. We were supposed to split up the driving chores, but again, he's a maniac. But I was still in a car for, you know, something like over the course of that time, like 13 plus hours, right?
Right.
And you got to stay awake to help the driver, you know, drive. You don't want to be that person who sleeps in a car. And we're chatting. We had a good time. So I roll in Sunday morning at 6 in the morning. And April wakes me up at 9 in the morning to tell me that she's setting my alarm for noon, because we had a surprise birthday party to go to for 2, which I knew about.
Right.
But her waking me up at 9 to let me know that she set my alarm for 3 hours later, that was like an extra like 20 minutes of sleep I could have got. Right?
Right, yeah.
So then we go and do all that. Then April had to catch a flight to Florida out of Philly. So Sunday night, I have to drive to and back from Philly, which is another 5+ hours in the car to and from with traffic and everything. And then the bath fitter people are coming Wednesday as we record this to put the tub in. Mm-hmm. And they're coming between 7:30 and 9:30 in the morning. Now, usually the latest I'm up during the week is 7:30. Right. But even if I wanted to sleep in tomorrow being the day I really need some extra sleep, is the day the bath fitter man is on my door at 7:31 knocking, you know?
Of course it is. That's the way things work out.
Yeah.
A couple of points as you were going on. One, fitness. You know, you're talking about Stan and his fitness thing.
Yes.
The only fitness I do is if I can fit this whole pizza in my mouth, as I always say.
The only thing I've ever shotgunned was a pizza. Yes.
Right. The only thing I've ever unboxed is a whole pizza.
Right.
When you say steps, where you're like the steps you're amount to do, you're like you have to challenge yourself to get X amount of steps, and you should do these amount of steps. I challenge myself to get to 0 steps in a day. And I'm slowly getting there. I'm succeeding more and more. And the one thing, you know, that I won't do a joke about is the podcast fans. You've met some people and they told you nice things. I'll always say I've met more than a few people at Comic Cons, and it always surprised me. And I think we were together for one of them. It was like, hey, I recognize that voice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like, you're so and you're Todd or you're Joe from Longbox Heroes. I'm like, yeah, it blows me. It's not that, like, for a few, like, it'll take me a second to get into talking to them because I'm legit shocked someone has recognized me, if that makes any sense. Because, you know, I this is a fun thing that we do, and I don't know how many fans we have, and I don't look into it, but when I do find them, I'm taken aback by it, and it's really cool to, like, talk to them. But that's why if you ever meet me, anybody ever meets me out there, it's like it takes me a second to wrap my head around, you know, they're talking to me because I have this podcast, which you might be more accustomed to it because you did, you know, wrestling. You did the commentating and stuff like that. So you'd be at shows and people know who you are right there. So I don't know how much you've, like, had interaction like that. But, yeah, it's going to take me another 20 years of this podcast to get used to it.
There you go. But that's not just for Todd. That's for, you know, you as a listener here. And that's not me soliciting, like, oh, well, I do say. So I say, you know, when we say, like, hey, when we were going out to Root Beer Wrestling, there were people who were excited that we were going, right? And when I say, like, we have the Mahoning show this weekend,
right?
You know, and people are like, I'm coming. I go, say hi, right? And I get social anxiety things, awkwardness things, and stuff like that. Maybe I come on a little too strong when I see someone that I haven't seen in a while. I have no problem going over saying, hey, what's up? Handshake, hug. Maybe it's a little bit too much, but you know, I know how that stuff makes me feel, and I can't put that on other people. But, you know, even just a comment on a social media post or a retweet or an anything is good enough, you know?
Right. Well, you are the aficionado of deep soul kisses, aren't you?
I am. That's true.
That shows, like, so you got to get to it. And like I said, I love meeting those people. You know what I mean? Like every person I've met has been wonderfully nice. So, and anytime I'm somewhere, walk up to me and we'll talk. I'm more awkward meeting my heroes than I am people who come up to me that they know me. That is a disaster every time. But, meeting people, like I said, once I get in the thick of it, I could talk to you, like, about whatever you want, you know?
Right. I hear you.
And I never asked because I know you save all that for the wrestling show. Like,
yeah.
You know, you met Jeff Jarrett, what matches you like, blah, blah, blah. I like, you know, it's talking about the fans that you meet. But the thing, because this is that show, any good meals?
Yes. So as a matter of fact, the area in where the place is called, in Cleveland where it is, it's a place called Temple Live. Not a great area.
Right.
Almost looks like a ghost town, maybe, like, but a ghost city, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Like, there was lots of cars moving across the highway, not a lot of cars stopping for things.
That's right. Basically, let's get through this area as fast as we can.
Yeah. But about 3 blocks down from the venue was, and again, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this, a Szechuan restaurant?
Szechuan, yeah, that's how you say it.
Okay. So, now, listen, he's going to hear this as well. This might be the first time that I saw Adam eat in person.
I've only ever seen Adam have a liquid dinner.
Okay. He ate most of his meal. Not that I was keeping track, but he definitely didn't take it home. Not that anybody would have taken whatever they would have, right?
Right, for the 15-hour ride home,
But I'm like, I'm in a new place. We're going to be wherever we are. I don't know what the bathroom situation is. Not that I am adventurous in the first place. I'm just going to stick with, like, the chicken fried rice here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the menu, lots of, when you look at a menu, there's the peppers for the universal signs for spicy.
Yep.
There was more dishes that had those that didn't.
Yeah, but can't you, like, ask? I mean, I don't know how the language was there. Sometimes you go into these restaurants and you talk to people and they, they understand what you're saying when you do it. But usually you can ask for it, like, not spicy. Not that you'd want to risk it, but I know you can.
So I get that, but where my thought process was coming in was I have a feeling that their spicy scale and my spicy scale aren't even in the same fucking ballpark, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm with you.
So I'm worried that I'm looking at something on the menu that has no peppers, period, next to it. That's just their normal level of spicy.
Right. That's going to come in pinchy for you.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. So I ordered the chicken fried rice, and so did Adam. I sucked my whole thing down. Adam ate most of his. Brett and DJ, on the other hand, were like, give me the spiciest thing you've got.
Right.
And make it a double. Because they're the wings on wings boys.
Right.
And the two of them are eating their food. Sweat is pouring off of them.
Right.
Both of them, tears, not just a tear. I mean, tears rolling down their cheeks out of both their eyes. And I'm like, guys, is that a little too spicy for you? They're like, no, it's like the perfect amount. I barely even feel it. And I'm like, they're like, yeah, I know I'm sweating and crying, but it's really good.
It's delightful.
Yes. And the
I don't
only
get it,
pain
man.
I want when I eat a meal is hours later.
Yep.
And that's only on a maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't. I know too many people that are like, oh my God, this is awesome. You're dying. Your body is dying as you eat that. Yeah, but I love it. Okay. I like a bath too, but I don't like to bathe in acid. Feels good on my skin. Feels good. It's getting getting those dead layers off.
But the like I said, the food I got was good. Brett and DJ both loved their food. Mm-hmm. No bragging, but we well over tipped. That's just, it's good to have a circle of friends that are over tippers.
Right.
And then you don't have to make an excuse. It's good to have several people that are over tippers so that you don't have to be the one person who's the over tipper to make up for their under tipping.
Yep, you have to take that slack up in your wallet right there. Yeah. Another question I have that may be addressed on At Odds is Adam did make it out of Cleveland alive with all the enemies he's made there.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody came headhunting.
No.
Good. I was worried because firing up the Cleveland fans, as a Pittsburgh fan.
Oh, that's not even. Listen, we were there for wrestling. You're talking about fake shit with football, whatever.
Right? Yeah.
Football season is not even going on. Everyone was there basking in the glow of Jeff Jarrett. Everybody was there for a common purpose. So they put their phony baloney rivalries aside for one day.
Listen, when you have 31 rivals, Joe, that's not phony baloney.
Right. That's the reason you don't travel.
Right. Because I'm hated everywhere as a Raiders fan.
Right, because you are constantly in full Raiders regalia when you leave the house.
Right. If you prick me, do I not bleed silver and black, Joe? But yeah.
That sounds like a very serious medical condition that you should see a doctor for.
I think it's either too much iron or too little iron that gives you that.
It's like you're Klingon, but you're also a very ill Klingon. So
pretty much, yeah. So, but I'm glad y'all. I actually did see DJ today. So, but it was in passing as he was walking out of a certain store that we go to on Tuesdays. I was walking in, and he was down the street, and I yelled his name once, and I could see him hear me and walk faster. And then I yelled super loud that he couldn't ignore me. And then he turned around and was like, "Oh, hey, Todd, I didn't hear you yelling. It's loud out here." And I was like, "Okay, Deej." And we ended up talking. I asked him, like, basically how the trip was, kind of. Yeah. He was like, "Good." And I said, "I'll get some info, like the food off of Joe and stuff like that. But I'm glad you had a good time, you know?"
Yep.
So that's good.
Yeah. And then we got an equally busy weekend this weekend, like I said. And then, I think next weekend there's nothing going on. I don't know. Let me look at the calendar.
I hope so for you. I hope so. You could use a break.
Yeah, it looks like nothing. Sunday there might be a wedding, but that might have got moved. I don't know.
Are you doing announcing this weekend, or are you just going?
I am. I am doing announcing this weekend. The commentary on the LVAC shows. Yes.
Gotcha. Because I wasn't sure on that. But
and I don't know if I don't know if you saw I posted in the group chat, I'll say. How about say it that way?
Tell them I said hi when you get there.
Gotcha.
I saw that. I do see that one. So
okay. Not sure if that changed your mind or anything on the weekend. Just
right.
I know you're a big Hot Sauce Tracy Williams fan, like we all are.
I am. I'm a huge. I want to. Does he sell his own hot sauce?
No, he does not.
But yeah, big Hot Sauce fan. If I was there, that would be my favorite match. So.
All right. Well, hey everyone, thank you for listening to Longbox Heroes After Dark, episode 504.
Sure.
Maybe you're listening to this early because you're a $5 and up Patreon person. And I could say that on here. We haven't had a purchase through our eBay affiliate link in like 2 months.
Right.
And it needs to, like, they don't pay out until it gets over $10.
Right.
So if you could go on there and just purchase a couple things, anyone,
right.
Use our eBay affiliate link because it's sitting at $8.55.
Right. And we want to cash that out.
So. I want to cash that out. That's right.
Take it to the pay window, as you say, Joe.
Yes, exactly. Don't make me start going through the other things that are under that same partner's account. Mm-hmm. And like trying to fleece you. I mean, give you opportunities on other things, you know, like
there's that word again.
Kayaking trips and online Canadian colleges and stuff.
Oh my goodness. What's that about?
Yeah, it's a bunch of, usually we'll get like a weekly emailer of like, oh, here's some new things that are in the Partners Network, right? And one time on one of the episodes of At Odds, I went through the whole thing and read it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's nothing that, that email never came through. That got bounced back to me. I need to resend that to myself. Hang on.
Right. You need to focus on that or you'll trail off.
I'm going to say this, and people are going to remember. I got to keep that there. Someone has a new nickname.
Oh, okay.
And I'll close out the show with that. If you listen to At Odds by now, if you're not on the $5 and up level, you already know what it is. But if you're listening at the $5 level, you'll have to wait till At Odds to find out who this person is that has a new nickname and what that new nickname is.
Sweet.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you very much for listening. Skype didn't crap out, so we're good.
Right. Yeah.
See everyone next week, right?
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.